Hey guys, I'm going to call this a beginner lesson as it's the first classical song I have in this progressive songbook of the popular classics. In terms of developing a classical repertoire, it would certainly be a beginner song, but we wouldn't say that a beginner who is just learning the first notes and the first chords would actually be tackling this necessarily. You could be a fairly advanced picker and grinner, and then when you take on classical, be a beginner in that realm and not in another. What we want to do here is, as we've done before, is learn the melody before we play the classical fingerstyle version. Here I've written the melody out in a way that you'll recall from when we were starting out. We know the notes on the strings, E, F, G, and B, C, D. So in order to teach a song, sometimes I just write out the letters. We also have it in our Hal Leonard book. I'm going to play you the Hal Leonard version, then this, which is a slight adaptation that I've made, and then we'll put it together as a classical. So if you have your Hal Leonard Book 1 on page 10, we have Ode to Joy, the Ninth Symphony by Beethoven, E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. E, D are both quarter notes in that bar, and the second D is a half note. We all learned to stutter that as a dotted quarter and an eighth note. So here it is again without pausing, just reading straight from Hal Leonard as you would, and putting that stutter in though with the dotted quarter note. So you'd get E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. Next line's almost identical, as you know. But it goes D, C, C. In Hal Leonard, just quarter notes on the next line. D, D, E, C, D, F, E, C, D, F, E, D, C, D, high G, and then the second line again. What we do to that third line often is put this eighth note in. You may recall that from when we learned the Hal Leonard Ode to Joy. That's basically what I've written here. Now I'm going to play it from this set of notes, and you can play along. Open E. E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. Second line is almost identical. It ends with D and C though. Third line is the B section. And very often a low G. And the second line is repeated as your fourth line. You also have the chords in that version. Whenever they get to this part in our Hal Leonard, this is an F chord. In today's version, it's a G chord still. They've got a slightly different variation here, a couple of different chords, and a different pattern. So we'll have to work out all of that today. At the beginning, you see the 3, the open, and the open. This is a C chord, C, G, and open E. I'll hold the chord and play those notes. 3rd fret, 5th string, open G string, open E string. However, you don't have to hold the chord, I just like to. So we get that C chord, use your pointer to move to the F note, your pinky to the G note. 1, 2, 3, 4. This G chord is like your baby G that you learned in the very first days of guitar. We hold this G note and we play some open strings. In this book they show the D and the G right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. C chord again. Now you see we don't need this low C note. It's going to be a C over E. These are the notes of an A minor chord as well. So those are quarter notes as well. Play the 4th string, plucking it with your thumb, 2nd fret. Open strings. And just a single 3, this D note, which belongs to a G chord. I'm going to play that line again now. Although it's very simple, you'll be surprised how nice it sounds when you're the one listening and not necessarily the one executing it. next line's almost identical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Except we change the bass note. Where I said in Hal Leonard this would be an F chord, they have put part of this over the F note, but the notes really spell out G7. So here we have G7 and G7. Nice interesting bass change though. To this 3, the F note. C over E again. In this bar, they've given you a chord for each now. The open G and the C chord, C over E again. And then they ask you to play that again, so the first 2 lines go a second time without venturing on to that B section. So here it is again. Second line. Restating the theme. New bass note. Here's the repeat. Next line, the G over B, C chord, G again, same high note but a low G note now. So 2nd fret, 5th string is the B, now the same chord, but now we put it over the G note. Unlike Hal Leonard, they give us the 8th notes there, the E and the F. So that's on beats 2 and 1, 2, and C chord, G over B again, 1, 2, and E notes. That could be E minor, but often it's E major to lead us to the A minor. Either, it doesn't matter which way you think of it because it's just open E notes. Could even be a C chord over E. Here's the G over B again. Open E's, A minor. I didn't label my G there, but it goes A minor to this D note to the open G over a G note. Then we start the A section again. But let's hear this again. G over B. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and E. A minor. And now restatement of the A. G and C. Now in this arrangement, they want us to do the B section again and that line again. So I said DSL coda, we'll just go back now. G over B. And the A section again to end. G, C. Here I've made this the coda ending. DSL coda, del segno, back to the sign. Play along till you get here where it says to coda. And I've just used this system so I can jump to this last bar. The only difference is one more note in the C chord, but since the arrangement has it, I've written it out. So you can play along with that, those chunks in slow motion. Here I'll play through the entire thing again. Don't forget to subscribe and to get back on my playlist so you can go find this in Hal Leonard, learn the lesson there where you had to learn the E, F, G notes, the B, C, and D, and how to read them, and then bring yourself back up here. 1, 2, 3, 4.